At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Nicole Hinchy, Educator of the Year and Mace Bearer, who will officially open the ceremony.
Good evening, President Tripathi, the graduates, candidates for degrees and certificates, the faculty, staff, and parents, families, and friends of the graduates and candidates are now all assembled. I hereby declare the commencement exercises for the University at Buffalo School of Dental Medicine officially open.
It is a distinct pleasure to be here with you today for this graduation exercise. My name is Dr. Tammy Thompson. I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the School of Dental Medicine and will serve as herald for the ceremony. I personally want to welcome all of you to the 131st commencement of the School of Dental Medicine. Today is a day to celebrate you and your accomplishments. Success is not an accident. Your hard work, determination, perseverance, learning, studying, and sacrifice has led to this defining moment, a moment that will become one of your most cherished memories. If able, please rise and remove your caps for our national anthem, recorded by Julia Pittarisi, who is graduating with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in music theater.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. It is an honor for me to introduce the Dean of the School of Dental Medicine, Dr. Marcelo Araujo.
Good afternoon. I would like to welcome and acknowledge our platform party, President Tripathi, Vice President Brashear, members of the University Senior Leadership, Associate Deans, faculty, staff, and honored guests and speakers. It's now my pleasure to present UB President Dr. Satish K. Tripathi.
Greetings. On behalf of our entire University at Buffalo community, welcome to the friends and family join us for commencement. We're delighted you could join us to celebrate your loved one for reaching this landmark. I speak for all of us at UB when I say that we are every bit as excited as you are to rejoice in your graduate's accomplishment. With that, allow me to offer my heartfelt congratulations to the UB School of Dental Medicine class of 2025. Graduates, as you mark today and turn your thoughts to the next chapter, allow me to share something that Nelson Mandela once told a group of students. Education, he said, is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. It is simple, yet bold declaration. And it is one that I hope you will carry with you as you determine the future you will paint for yourself. How has UB prepared you for this moment? If we have done our jobs, your UB education has put you in the center of bustling marketplace of ideas. Here, you have been trained to think critically rather than accepting what you have been told on face value. You have been tasked and prizing inquiry, research-based evidence, and truth over speculation, assumption, and innuendo. In keeping with our university mission, you have been reboldened to create, to innovate, to pursue new knowledge. No doubt, the skills and attributes you have refined at UB will serve you in your chosen career. But I would argue that they transcend professional development and workplace success. By holding fast to principles of reason and integrity, you truly have, and Mandela said, the means to change the world. Again, a bold statement. But history, UB's own history, bears this out. From our founding as a private medical school to our evolution as a premier public research university, a succession of groundbreaking research and scholarship has punctuated UB's timeline. An antibiotic that stopped the progression of gum disease, tools that have dramatically advanced the field of forensic dentistry, dentures that fight infections, tablets that ward off osteoporosis, all these dental innovations and many others were rooted in UB's research. What's more, each and every day, the alumni community you are about to join is expanding upon this profound legacy of impact. Your fellow alumni have exposed corporate deceit in Big Tomato, uncovered water contamination in Flint, Michigan, and shed light on health fraud. They have decided landmark civil rights cases, documented the wars in Gaza and Ukraine, and built bridges between the literary world of East and West. They are founders and CEOs of companies and nonprofits that contribute to clinical innovations and social justice. They include the biologist who led the first team to sequence the human genome, one of the first researchers to connect periodontal disease to diabetes, and the chemist who discovered that AZT could be used to treat HIV. As wide-ranging as these accomplishments are, they share a compelling common denominator. In contributing meaningfully to the local and global communities that UB serves, they uphold our mission of excellence and impact. Now, as you graduate from UB, you become the newest standard bearers of this mission. Those of us gathered today greatly look forward to seeing how you will take what you have learned at the University at Buffalo and apply it to the greater good. To conclude, please allow me once again congratulate the UB School of Dental Medicine class of 2025.
Thank you, President Tripathi. Good evening. It's wonderful to see so many proud families, friends, alumni, and colleagues here today. And of course, the proud graduates sitting before me, the reason why we have gathered this evening. Commencement is a significant milestone in your journey and a day celebration. Congratulations. I am truly honored today to be here with you. I remember my own dental school graduation exactly 30 years ago, in 1995, which now feels like old days. But I can still remember sitting where you are, feeling what you're feeling, joy, relief, excitement, but also nervousness about the future and the unknown. If someone told me that would happen in following 30 years, I would not have believed them. I can see now that following my dreams and saying yes to opportunities allow me to find the right path in my career. That path led me here, back to UB, and the role of the dean at the school I love. You're a big reason for this. The class of 2025 is a special class for me, not just because we share a milestone graduation year. We have celebrated a lot of firsts together. We met just 5 days after I became dean at your wild cold ceremony. And from that start, you were friendly and receptive to me. For that, I thank you. Some of you may not know this, but you are the reason the dental school has its first ever dean's Instagram account, right, Leah? I will never forget when one of you, I can see you right there, told me that only being on LinkedIn wasn't good enough. From that advice, the dean's Instagram account was born. The school had never done something like this before, but you were right. It has been proven to be an excellent and essential way for us to connect. I value this connect, and now it will help us stay in touch after you graduate. During that special event, I started memorizing names. I learned that some of you may be late once in a while because of you crossing the border. It's Vikram. Every day, and that was a challenge. Our international connection goes beyond our international backgrounds. It allows me to understand that it doesn't matter if you were an international student in 1997 or in 2023, we all have overcome different and an unexpected challenge. Let's not forget our shared love for Buffalo and the community. Through Boca, you have been able to bring health to those who need it most, and I have been able to celebrate it with you, like when you bid and won a chance for the first dinner with the dean. And we had a great time together, with all proceeds being used to support our outreach program, perhaps in Hawaii. These memories stand out because they show your class' unique ability to connect, your confidence, and your openness to change. These critical skills will help you succeed in practice, academia, research, or anywhere you choose to go. You are ahead of the game because you already possess these important qualities. As you begin the next chapter in your lives, I encourage you to hold on to the values that have defined your class: inclusivity and deep commitment to serve others. As dentists, researchers, or academicians, you have the power to improve lives, advocate for equity in oral health care, and address barriers that exist for our most vulnerable populations. It is your responsibility to understand and meet the needs of the communities you serve. They are relying on you to lead and create change. As you do it, you will shape the future of our profession in meaningful and important ways. This is your power and your privilege. From here, you are only going to grow. I encourage you to rely on the foundational skills you cultivate in our school, whether you leave with your DDS, an advanced education, a master's, or a PhD. Because your commitment, effort, and dedication, you graduate ready to navigate the steps of your life and career with all the purpose and passion you show as a student. You are ready to make a dream happen, just like it was for me 30 years ago. It goes fast. Embrace the journey ahead with courage, and remember, you have the strength, the knowledge, and the training to overcome any obstacle. Class of 2025. It has been a privilege to be your dean, and to watch you evolve into extraordinary people I am proud to call colleagues. The world is waiting for you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Araujo. Would you please now present the Faculty and Staff Awards?
The Richard A. Powell Award is presented to a faculty member who, in the considered judgment of faculty and students, is outstanding dental educator. The recipient demonstrates superior knowledge of a particular discipline, is able to communicate effectively, and conveys compassion for his or her students. The awardee appreciates difference in individual students and works with each one of them to realize their full potential. Would Dr. Himarani please join me at the podium? Dr. Rani, come this way. Dr. Arani, I am honored to present the Richard O. Powell Award to you, as you have clearly met the criteria. Okay, the Lipani Award is presented to a faculty or staff member who recognize outstanding contribution to the school, the faculty, and the profession. We already celebrate her once this week. Would Dr. Milene Dian Kate Wells please join me in the podium? Dr. Dian, it's a pleasure to present you with the Lipani Award. Thank you. The Dean's Award is presented to a faculty or staff member to recognize outstanding contribution to the School of Dental Medicine. Would Dr. Gina Stefan please join me in the podium? This year, I'm honored to present a second Dean's Award to someone who has done a lot to the school and helped us grow in the last several years. The award goes to Martha Boyer in her recognition of her excellent service to the school. Would Martha Boyer please join to the deans in the office? It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Kathleen O'Loughlin, former Executive Director of the American Dental Association, who recently retired after 12 and a half years on her role. Dr. O'Loughlin, please join me at the podium. Dr. O'Loughlin was the ADA's first female Executive Director prior to the ADA, she was the Chief Dental Officer for United Health Group and President CEO for Delta Dental, Massachusetts. She maintained a private practice for many years and served on the faculty of Tufts University School of Dental Medicine, where she earned her DMD. In fact, she was the first woman to be both class president and valedictorian at Tufts Dental School. She holds a Master in Public Health from Harvard University. Dr. O'Loughlin has over 40 years of experience in the dental and healthcare industry, and she's an amazing leader and person. And I'm honored to call her a friend and to have her here today.
I want to thank President Tripathi and Dean Arugio for the honor of being able to share a few thoughts with you. I usually plan on speaking for about an hour. Only kidding. Little thought bubbles coming out of all those heads with the blue gowns saying, "Stop talking and hood me." But welcome to the class of 2025. You are amazing. I like your gowns better than my gown. But really, I want to congratulate you and your families and your friends for the support they gave you during this journey through dental school, which certainly wasn't easy, especially since you were really the first post-generation of COVID, where you were allowed to actually sit in a classroom and actually graduate. So an awesome moment for you guys. You know, my dental education changed my life for the better, and I hope today changes yours. You are now on the starting line of one of the greatest races you will ever run. So how do you train for this race? In a manner that gives you fulfillment and joy and astonishment. You're about to change lives for the better. That's an awesome responsibility. I graduated in 1981, and 44 years is a long time to do one thing. I love this profession more now, today, than I ever did than the day I graduated. And you know, many people refer to this event, this graduation, as a very pregnant moment. I'm going to be honest with you, my graduation day really was pregnant. I had my first son during graduation, so my whole family went to commencement and I went to the hospital. Nothing like perfect timing, and I saw a new little baby who was born in December. Where's mom? Dad? I can't see where you are, but congratulations. I'm telling you, it is not easy. You know, so what does it take to get to the finish line of this race that's going to take you down roads of decades, 40, 50 years? This challenge, this career will challenge you, it'll excite you, it will scare you, sometimes disappoint, and even bore you a bit. So what helps you get to the finish line? 3 core values: courage, resilience, and optimism. So courage. As you heard Dean Arugio say, don't be afraid of uncertainty, of not knowing where and when you're going to land. Take risks, change direction, learn new ideas, new techniques, new knowledge. Be a keen observer of other people's behaviors, their decision-making, what motivates them. And don't be afraid to have those really hard conversations, the conversations that make you uncomfortable, either with a coworker or a patient or a family member. You have to make hard decisions when necessary in your roles. You know, when I had practiced about 15 years as a general dentist, I was busy. I was very active in the State Dental Society. I had 4 children by that point in time. And yet I was beginning to not feel fulfilled. Either it was getting too routine for me, but I had lost that burning desire to get to my practice every morning. So at 46, I decided to go back to school. My husband was a little skeptical. His favorite dish to this day is Stouffer's frozen lasagna. And my kids ate it 3 times a week, and they didn't complain, at least to me. The degree I obtained at Harvard, the Master's in Public Health and Health Management, gave me new ways to think, new understanding of healthcare systems, new ways to understand policymaking and how important that role is for you as professionals to be advocates for your patients and your communities. I absolutely drove my staff in my practice crazy the first year I graduated. God bless my partner, Dr. Janice Moriarty, for putting up with my absolute craziness in those years. But that degree opened new doors for me, and it allowed me to move from clinical practice to running a healthcare organization. And it opened the door for me to serve at the American Dental Association, which I have to tell you was the greatest job I've ever had. So my advice is be courageous. So at the end of your career in 40 or 50 years, you absolutely have no regrets. You know, resilience is really important, and I think you'll hear a little bit about that today from at least one other speaker. You know, as I said, I had a brand new day-old infant in my arms the day after graduation. Lots of student loans to pay back, no job prospects, no license yet. All the dentists in my area were men back in 1981, and they were a bit reluctant to hire a woman who had crazy postpartum hormones flying around. I was an anxious mom with a colicky baby, and I was alone. All my colleagues and friends went from graduation to back to their hometowns, back to where they wanted to practice. And postpartum depression set in within a few weeks of having the baby, and it felt like an avalanche of sadness. It was hard for me to function. It felt like swimming in molasses. To compound my sadness, my dad, who was a dentist, died very suddenly during my junior year in dental school. And during my junior year, I didn't take the time to grieve. I know what it's like. You've got to get your clinic requirements done. You have to prepare for boards. I mean, you have to scramble to make sure you have patience to fulfill what you need to do. So there was no time to devote to grieving or dealing with my loss. Thank goodness I had friends and family who understood, who supported me, because depression and mental health challenges are really hard to talk about. One of my brothers just sat with me. He was just present. But back in the early 80s, no one really knew what to do. There wasn't a lot of support for an illness that nobody wanted to talk about. Now there are resources. Now there is a better understanding that no matter how well educated you are, you can still suffer bouts of anxiety, depression, and loneliness. But the good news is, colleagues, you're not alone. And you're not alone in this dilemma at all. There is support for mental wellness from the American Dental Association, from the New York State Dental Association, from your Buffalo Alumni Association. And I know that most of all, you have each other. And these friendships and relationships you've built over the last 4 years don't disappear. You've had each other's backs throughout your time in this program, and that does not end today. Resilience is strengthened. You have to build it like you're working out for a marathon. Be self-aware, be mindful. Be mindful of yourself and of others. Positive self-talk is incredibly important. Shut off the negative person in your head. Deep breathing, meditation, exercise, loving people who are around you, embracing wellness. All of these things give your resilience power and help it grow. Especially when you love yourself, you are better able to love others. Be empathetic and compassionate. This is a virtuous cycle that once it embeds, it will protect your resilience and help it grow. So, my last value suggestion is optimism. I've always been an optimistic person, so I used to tell my staff at the ADA, Dr. Dina Ruggio was one of those people, it's hard to be optimistic right now. Lately, every time I read the news or watch it, I feel a lot of anxiety. Public health, academia, the rule of law, free speech, due process, all of it, things that we cherished as citizens, seem to be under assault. Empathy and compassion have been replaced by anger and cruelty in the news, almost on a daily basis. I worry about the threats to science. The research enterprise of this country is the envy of every other country in the globe. The evisceration of Health and Human Services, Centers for Disease Control, National Institutes of Health, the National Science Foundation. This may take years to recover from. It may take years for the US to re-engage its leadership position around the globe. And my worry is that young scientists in the pipeline to be our future research stars may have lots of challenges pursuing their dreams of PhD degrees, advanced degrees in medicine, advanced degrees in dentistry. We may not pay the price now, but our children and our grandchildren will bear the burden of more diseases and fewer treatment discoveries. I would guess that most of us sitting here, and I know if the administrators of the dental school have something to say, that careful management of scarce resources is really important, especially as a healthcare professional. Eliminating waste, fraud, eliminating inefficiency. You'll find as you're practicing, you want to control those things. They're important goals. However, the erosion of public health programs like water fluoridation, diminished funding of Medicaid will really impact access to care at the state level. The loss of funding for health profession loans and repayment programs in community health centers will make it harder for those of you who love pursuing careers in public health and want to have a major impact on the health outcomes of your communities. Your student debt will be making decisions for you when these positions may not be economically viable. As healthcare professionals, you're going to be saying this oath at the end. We promise to do no harm. We promise to take care of our patients, our communities, and to be dedicated to science and scientific evidence for what we do. Tough to be optimistic when the healthcare system is in chaos, like it seems to be now. So here's what I recommend. How to be optimistic. Start your day every morning by being grateful for one thing. Find that one thing that makes you smile. A person, an experience, your pet, an act of kindness, the sun on your face. And also list those core values that are inherent in you that are the core of your being. Now, you can have two kinds of core values. You can have positive ones that build, and you can have negative ones that destroy. And we all have a little bit of both. So integrity, accountability, truthfulness, empathy, compassion, humility, passion for justice, courage. These are all the core values that are positive in building your lives, your relationships, and help you live up to the promise of your professional status as healthcare providers and professionals. But there are alternative core values: pride, hubris, arrogance, selfishness, narcissism, paranoia, lack of respect for others, no accountability, lack of empathy, that ultimately destroy relationships over time and diminish your resiliency and your optimism. You are all leaders in training, and you have to ask yourself, can you lean into your positive core values hard and lean away from those negative core values that we're all subject to? You have to work those positive core values like you're working out for the marathon, one day at a time. It will help you be a leader of oral health for your patients, your families, your communities. In closing, see, it wasn't 60 minutes. Courage to be the best lifelong learners you can be, to meet challenges, to take risks, be resilient, to get through the hard times, and they will happen. Be ready. And optimism to believe in a better you, better society, better health for your patients, better communities. So class of 2025, you have these qualities within you. Believe in yourself. Let your courage, resilience, and optimism be your strengths and your guide. You are ready for everything that's going to come next. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. O'Loughlin. I would like to introduce the Educator of the Year, Dr. Nicole Hinchy.
All right, way to go, guys. Congrats, very exciting. So good evening, President Tripathi, Dean Arujo, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, most importantly to our newest colleagues, the UB School of Dental Medicine class of 2025. And of course to their friends and family who have traveled near and far to join us here. I would like to start by giving you all a UBSDM shout out to those friends and family, thanking each of you for your everlasting support and encouragement you have given to each one of these graduates sitting before us. Your patience and wisdom certainly have played a major role in their success. And as the successes of the class of 2025 are why we gather here tonight. We are here to commemorate the remarkable achievements and to embrace the endless possibilities that lie ahead of each one of you. I am deeply humbled to have received the distinction being named your Educator of the Year, trying not to cry. And I am incredibly proud and honored to have been a part of your educational journey here at UB. You know, we grew up together, and it feels like just yesterday that we all were starting out. You as fresh-faced dental students, filled with optimism for the knowledge you would gain and the opportunities that the dental education would bring. Me as an enthusiastic new faculty member, hoping to encourage the next generation. As you progressed, learning the foundations of your chosen profession and blossoming into the dedicated and hardworking professionals you are today, I have grown into a role that has become one of the most fulfilling experiences in my professional life. It has been a remarkable privilege to have been part of a larger whole, as you can see behind me, that have laid the groundwork upon which you will grow and continue to thrive upon. As I sat down to write this speech, reflecting on a message I wanted to convey and hoping to inspire you to continue being the rock stars that you are, I kept returning to an overarching ideal summed up by the acronym ALARA. Thank you to whoever wrote that. While it's important to continue following as low as reasonably achievable for radiation exposures, I want you to remember that achieving lifelong accomplishments takes resilience and adaptability. You have already demonstrated resilience by sitting here today, having survived the rigors of dental school, ranging from the 256 grades of shade, 256 shades of gray from yours truly, to seemingly endless hours of studying and preparation for competencies and OSCEs and MOSCEs, oh my. Through dedication and hard work, you have become capable diagnosticians, understanding the complexities of oral and systemic diseases, and proficient clinicians, adept at managing and preventing them. Along the way, you have developed fine technical skills to treat the disease and restore function. Moreover, you have shown compassion through community service, both locally and nationally, and a commitment to dentistry by engaging in service through professional organizations. Ultimately, you have earned the title of Doctor of Dental Surgery, a distinction only few can achieve, and you should be incredibly proud. As you sit here and reminisce on these past days, months, years, I hope you can appreciate that there is nothing more constant than change. On behalf of my fellow educators, we hope we have instilled upon you a passion for lifelong learning and self-education as you enter this incredibly dynamic field. Adaptability be one of your greatest assets as advancements in treatment and technologies, our understanding of disease patterns, and patient expectations continue to evolve. Embrace that change and let it bring you to new heights. As you progress through your career, appreciate one steadfast possession you hold, and that's the foundational education you have received within these hallowed halls of UB. Take this and build upon it, for the real education begins once you enter practice. A mentor once told me that there are 3 major decades in your career. The first is spent finding and developing your professional self. The second is dedicated towards continual improvement and practicing confidently. And the final is for imparting the knowledge onto the next generation of dentists as you gracefully transition out. Recently, I was reminded of a fundamental truth about dental school. You enter as individuals, as strangers, but you really leave as a family, a unit bound by a common thread. Take a moment to look to your left and look to your right. While no one would argue with you, the roller coaster ride that is dental school is trivial. The people sitting next to you are really, truly the only ones who understand what it took to get through your educational journey here as the UBSDM class of 2025. The highs and lows of life, and the day-to-day grind that once seemed endless, but now feels surreal to have completed. Cherish these moments and memories and the bonds you have formed. If you ever find yourself doubting your ability, think back to the incredible accomplishments you all have achieved and the strong foundations you have laid. You are resilient and capable and ready to face whatever comes next. Now, to loosely quote one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Miller, just kidding, Dr. Seuss, I told him I would include him in my speech, so. Congratulations, today is your day. You have the brains in your head and the feet in your shoes to steer yourself in any direction you choose. And will you succeed? It's almost certain you see. You're off to great places where you're meant to be. Today is your day to begin achieving lifelong feats. Through resilience and adaptability, you'll meet all your needs. With curiosity and courage, you'll find your way. The more you learn, the further you go each day. And if there's one last thing to always recall, the structure on a pan is never the clavicle at all. Congratulations to the UBSDM class 2025.
Thank you, Dr. Hinchey. I would like to introduce Class Vice President Amanda Zacola, who will present the student address.
Good evening, everyone. Faculty, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, my amazing classmates. Congratulations, we finally made it. I want to start by acknowledging our class president, Anthony. Anthony has led our class with heart, dedication, and so much pride. I know I speak for all of us when I say he deserves recognition for everything he's done. So I hope this moment also reflects his leadership and the spirit he brought to our class. When we walked into Squire Hall for the first time 4 years ago, we were wearing our brand new fig scrubs, full of nerves, excitement, and a little too much confidence. We were eager to meet our classmates, find our lockers, and figure out what exactly we had gotten ourselves into. We thought we were ready until we were faced with wax-ups, anatomy lab, and indirect vision. We were quickly humbled. Those fresh new fig scrubs turned into anatomy lab scrubs that smelled like, well, gross anatomy. And the confidence we walked in with, that didn't last long. But we started to realize something comforting. We weren't alone. I remember sitting in B30, looking around as Dr. Arani was giving a lecture and whispering to Jack and Alexa, "Do you guys know what's going on?" They both shook their heads no. Then I looked across our pod at TJ and Wesley. Same confused look, same answer, no clue. Something nice about dental school was that one person had at least half an idea of what was going on. So shout out to Tyler for being that person and saving Pod M. Over time, we grew comfortable with feeling a little lost. Pre-clinic taught us that it was okay to not know everything at first, that learning something new takes patience, teamwork, and the willingness to ask for help. We leaned on each other and on our faculty to figure things out, and that's how we kept moving forward. We've worked through endless lab projects, late nights of studying, and early mornings in clinic, and long Buffalo winters, where we questioned if we were actually cut out for this. But with every challenge, we got stronger. We pushed through the hard days, supported one another, and learned to celebrate the little wins, whether it was getting a sign-off, finishing your first crown, or finally making it to class on time. Sorry, Mom and Dad. And we didn't just survive, we grew into the professionals we are today. Honestly, being a dental student has felt a lot like being a lifelong Bills fan. It requires resilience, patience, and a whole lot of hope. It's a roller coaster. There are setbacks that test your spirit and moments that make you want to scream. But through it all, you hold on because deep down, you believe in the process. You trust your team, and you keep showing up. In the end, it's the people who carry you through. These past 4 years have been about so much more than dentistry. We've celebrated engagements, marriages, and new babies. We've watched classmates move across the country and even across the world. We cheered at our first Bills game, explored new cultures, and tried some of the best chicken wings. Because if you didn't debate over who has the best chicken wings in Buffalo, did you even live in Buffalo? But most importantly, we built friendships that will last far beyond these 4 years. Friendships rooted in late nights, shared victories, and the kind of memories you can only make when you go through something this challenging together. To our professors and mentors, thank you for sharing your knowledge and holding us to such high standards. Even when your feedback stung a little, we knew it came from a place of wanting us to succeed. To the staff behind the scenes, whether it's the dispensary knowing exactly what you need, the dental assistants always knowing what to do when you're in full panic mode, or the removable lab helping you with a last-minute denture crisis, thank you for keeping everything running and making sure we had what we needed, even if it was just a smile on a rough day. To our families, friends, and loved ones, thank you for standing by us through every step, for your encouragement, your patience, and for pretending to be interested in dental talk, even when it turned into us showing you a jar of real teeth that we've been collecting for EndoLab, or presenting photos at the dinner table of the teeth that we extracted that day. You've been our cheerleaders, our counselors, our ride or die support systems. We wouldn't be here without you. As we step into the next chapter, whatever that looks like for each of us, I hope we carry forward the lessons we've learned here. That perseverance matters, that community lifts you up, and that success isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up every single time. As Bill's coach Sean McDermott once said, you don't get better by showing up, you get better by putting in the work. And we've done the work. Be proud of how far you've come, be hopeful about where you're headed, and always remember the strength that comes from believing in yourself and supporting the people around you. We've earned this moment. No matter where life takes you, you will always have your Buffalo community. The people who are right by your side, who lifted you up, and who will keep cheering you on long after graduation. Class of 2025, I am so proud of what we've accomplished together. Buffalo will always have a place in your heart, and when you need a reminder of how far you've come or who you are at your core, take this with you. In the words of Josh Allen, be good, do good, God bless, and go Bills.
Thank you, Amanda. Would President Tripathi and Dean Araujo please step forward for conferral of the Doctor of Dental Surgery degree? Will the candidates for the Doctor of Dental Surgery degree please rise?
President Tripathi, on behalf of the faculty of the university, I'm honored to present these candidates. They have met all the requirements for the university and are recommended to you by the faculty for the degree of dental surgery.
By the authority of the trustees and the chancellor of the State University of New York and the council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.
DDS candidates may now be seated. Will the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy degree please rise?
President Tripathi, on behalf of the faculty of the university, I'm honored to present these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and are recommended to you by the faculty for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority of the trustees and the chancellor of the State University of New York and the council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the master's degree please rise?
President Tripathi, on behalf of the faculty of the university, I'm honored to present these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and I recommend to you by the faculty for the master's degree.
By the authority of the trustees and the chancellor of the State University of New York and the council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon you the degree of Master of Science with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the Certificate of Advanced Dental Education please rise?
President Tripathi, on behalf of the faculty of the university, I'm honored to present these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and recommend to you by the faculty for the Certificate of Advanced Dental Education.
By the authority of the trustees and the chancellor of the State University of New York and the council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now award you the Certificate of Advanced Dental Education. Congratulations.
The Certificate of Advanced Dental Education are now seated. Will the DDS candidates please rise and come forward? Will Dean Arujo come forward for the hooding of the DDS candidates? Will President Tripathi, Vice President Brashear, Dr. Nicole Hinchy, and Dr. DeLuca join in the congratulatory line? I would like to introduce our reader today, Casey Reedy, who will be announcing our candidates for graduation.
Good afternoon. We begin with the candidates for the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery. Dr. Ahmet Orgev. Dr. Anna Paritsky. Dr. Sarah Afzal. Dr. Ahmed Al-Bakri. Dr. Leah Carmela Aledo. Dr. Zaina Ali Al-Saddam. Dr. Afia Anwar Khan. Dr. Monica Bassi. Dr. Katie Marie Beatty. Dr. Debapriya Deba Prasad Biswas. Dr. Noor Sufyan Al-Rawi. Dr. Alex Bergmaster. Dr. Michael Caputo. Dr. Joshua Nathaniel Carter. Dr. Amanda Marie Castanino Chichester. Dr. Young Rim Chang. Dr. Parneet Chatwal, hooded by her mother, Dr. Raji Kaur. Dr. Amanda Christine Choi. Dr. Leonard Patrick Close III. Dr. Margaret Denman. Dr. Gurkirat Singh Dhillon, hooded by his brother, Dr. Navjot Dhillon. Dr. Caitlin May Dickerson. Dr. Gabriella Dierna. Dr. Paul DiMarzo. Dr. Tina Fidel. Dr. Laura Elizabeth Fajardo. Dr. Aisha Farhad. Dr. Matthew Fasulo. Dr. Alyssa Marie Fay. Dr. Jacob Micah Forsheimer. Dr. Paige Ariana Francisconi. Dr. Ruby Ashlyn Godomsky. Dr. Samantha Gavin. Dr. Stella Jui Ga. Dr. Snehal Gugard-Array. Dr. Ricardo Andres Gonzalez Argati, hooded by his mother, Dr. Nelly Rocio Argati. Dr. Joanna Leopoldina Graham. Dr. Vikram Gramapade. Dr. Daniel Hogan. And Dr. Stephen Joseph Hogan, hooded by his cousin, Dr. Carl Fusco Gessick. Dr. Mirna Husinets, hooded by her grandmother, Dr. Lydia Torre Pedishich. Dr. Janice Rebecca Jimenez. Dr. Yunsu Jiang. Dr. Haritha Japudi. Dr. Dunya Kakmeka. Dr. Manoja Ramapriya Kanchumarti. Dr. Samuel Kaplansky, hooded by his father, Dr. Igor Kaplansky. Dr. Kira Katz, hooded by her father, Dr. Jeffrey Katz. Dr. Sandeep Kaur. Dr. Brendan Keeney, hooded by his uncle, Dr. Michael Singleton. Dr. Daniel Earl Keller. Dr. Grace Kim. Dr. Brenda J. Kizzy. Dr. Johann Olaf Scherven. Dr. Lindsay Lassiter Mora. Hooded by her father, Dr. Jeremy Lassiter. Dr. Daniel Jiangdao Li. Dr. Nicholas Christopher Lim. Dr. Monica Mack. Dr. Quinn Rio McGuire. Dr. Prathima Malimpali. Dr. Dylan May in absentia. Dr. Paolo Mazzini Neto. Dr. Holly Mabel McLean. Dr. Jenish Mehta. Dr. Winifred May. Dr. Paul Mensa. Dr. Hiba Mohammed, hooded by her husband, Dr. Ahmed Habiballah. Dr. Pragyan Mohanty. Dr. Aliyah Nabil. Dr. Arij Naeem. Dr. Haresh Narayan. Dr. Sheena Monica No. Dr. Jennifer Ulawa Faye Aishio Okewumi. Dr. Khalid Orabi. Dr. Nasim Orumchi, hooded by her mother, Dr. Azar Azarmsa. Dr. Michael Daniel Otavio. Dr. Drudiben Kodabai Patel. Dr. Ridi Patel, hooded by her husband, Dr. K2 Patel. Dr. Karen Claire Cesar Prinz. Dr. Angelica Pupiak. Dr. Farhan Rahman, hooded by his mother, Dr. Muslima Kandakar. Dr. Shreya Dinesh Rao. Dr. Allison Marie Ream. Dr. Leanne Brittany Rickert. Dr. Kanya Rimu in absentia. Dr. Madeline Ritter, who has also earned an MS degree in oral sciences. Dr. Michelle Ryback. Dr. Nausheen Salota, hooded by her mother, Dr. Nazima Salota. Dr. Gurinderjeet Sandhu. Dr. Marie Claire Schaefer. Dr. Maddie Siemens. Dr. Valerie Schliemoff. Dr. Gabrielle Lauren Shuron. Dr. Sandeep Jaura. Dr. Soumya Singh. Dr. Edmund Song. Dr. Matthew George Strickland, hooded by his father, Dr. George Strickland. Dr. Nagar Sultana. Dr. Shashira Sarapu Reddy. Dr. Hamza Syed, hooded by his wife, Dr. Anusha Atik. Dr. Umar Salim Syed. Dr. Heather Ann Tamburo. Dr. Anthony Tartabuono. Dr. Jacinta Tracy. Dr. Ashley Elise Turner. Dr. Rathna Valuri. Dr. Catherine Vega Rojas, hooded by her cousin, Dr. Jonathan Matute. Dr. Jessica Vilas Boas. Dr. Ava Elizabeth Walsh. Dr. Paige Warmouth. Dr. Tyler Roger White. Dr. Tobias Jerusalem Barrow Whitfield. Dr. Wesley Wolf. Dr. Winnie Wong. Dr. Casey Keith Woodward, hooded by his brother, Dr. Braden Woodward. Dr. Carolyn Shin, in absentia. Dr. Jack Yakub. Dr. Tristan Cole Yates, hooded by his uncle, Dr. Glenn Piper. Dr. Amanda Madison Zicola. Dr. Majuba Zara. Dr. Alexa Page Zylander. Will the PhD, Master's, and Advanced Study Certificate candidates please rise and come forward? Oh, they have? Thank you. Will the designated hooding faculty please come forward? And will Dr. Patrick Anders, the reader, please come forward? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Casey.
The candidates receiving a Doctor of Philosophy degree in oral biology are Dr. Natalie Anselmi, hooded by Major Professor Dr. Michelle Visser. Dr. Kiana Talisa Bynum, hooded by Major Professor Dr. Jason Kay. Dr. Armand June, hooded by Major Professor Dr. Patricia Diaz Moreno. The next graduates have received a Master's of Science and degree in Oral Sciences and are being hooded by Program Director Dr. Jason Kay. Ryan Andrew Hubert. Akila Kiran. The next candidate has earned a Master of Science degree in Oral Sciences and a Certificate of Advanced Study in Oral and Maxillofacial Pathology to be hooded by Program Director Dr. Alfredo Aguirre. Dr. Bayan Ali Al-Haddad. The graduates receiving a Master of Science degree in Orthodontics and a Certificate of Advanced Study in Orthodontics are being hooded by Program Director Dr. Thikriyat Al-Jawar. Dr. Ala Anwar Abdullah. Dr. David Doe. Our next graduates are receiving a Master of Science degree in Oral Sciences and a Certificate of Advanced Study in Periodontics. They will be hooded by Clinical Program Director Dr. Lisa Yerke. Dr. Laura Elizabeth Cavallari. Dr. Mara Damdoum. Our next candidates are receiving a Certificate of Advanced Study in Periodontics. They're being recognized by Program Director Dr. Lisa Yerke. Dr. Rayan El-Suwailam. Dr. Natalia Andrade. The next graduates have earned a Master of Science degree in Oral Sciences and a Certificate of Advanced Study in Prosthodontics. They will be hooded by Clinical Program Director Dr. Hyungil Kim. Dr. Abdullah Al-Bagli. Dr. Syed Zaim Raza. The next candidate is receiving a Master of Science degree in Oral Sciences and a Certificate of Advanced Study in TMD and Oral Facial Pain, and will be hooded by Clinical Program Director Dr. Yoli Gonzalez-Stucker. Dr. Hossam Yusuf Zebda. Our next candidate is receiving a Certificate of Advanced Study in TMD and Oral Facial Pain. She's being recognized by Program Director Dr. Yoli Gonzalez-Stucker. Dr. Josephine Itape. The graduates receiving a Certificate of Advanced Study in Endodontics will be congratulated by the Program Director, Dr. Jorge Vera Rojas. They are Dr. Sean Patrick Kennelly, Dr. Derek Lynn, the candidates receiving a Certificate of Advanced Study in Pediatric Dentistry will be congratulated by Program Director Dr. Milan Chinkit Wells. The graduates are Dr. David Harold Chuchong, Dr. Kevin James Dobbins, Dr. Tyler Jamal Laurel, Dr. Joshua Matthew Matam, Dr. Caseyani Strimbenis, Dr. David Alexander Uni, At this time, will Dean Arujo please step to the podium and members of the congratulatory party be seated.
Had to find it. Will the DDS graduates please rise, if able, and recite the dentist pledge with me? The pledge can be found on page 23 of your program. Please repeat after me. I, as a member of the dental profession, will keep this pledge and these stipulations. I understand and accept that my primary responsibility is to the oral health of my patients and my community. I shall dedicate myself to render, to the best of my ability, the highest standard of oral care and to maintain the public's respect and confidence. Therefore, let all patients who come to me and let all members of the community I served be assured that they are safe in the knowledge that their total health and well-being are my first consideration. I shall accept the responsibility that, as a professional, my competence rests on the attainment of knowledge and skill in the arts and science of dentistry. I acknowledge my obligation to support and sustain the honor and the integrity of the profession. And to conduct myself in all endeavors such that I shall merit the respect of patients, colleagues, and my community. I further commit myself to the betterment of my community for the benefit of all society. I shall faithfully observe the principles and ethics and code of professional conduct set forth by the profession. All this I pledge with pride in my commitment to the profession and the public which it serves. Congratulations, class of 2025. You may sit.
Please be seated. Please welcome the University at Buffalo Dental Alumni Association President, Dr. Joseph DeLuca.
All right, last speech, we're almost done. My invitation to speak to you today is due to my affiliation with the Alumni Association. However, I've had the honor of working with these now doctors since that first day in their dental school journey. And I feel it's appropriate to try to approach this from both sides. First and foremost, congratulations. Your hard work and dedication have led you to this pivotal moment. Each of you have demonstrated not only academic excellence, but also a passion for the art and science of dentistry. Today, we honor your accomplishments and celebrate the bright future ahead. As you prepare to embark on your careers, I urge you to reflect on the values that have guided you throughout your dental education. Integrity, compassion, and a commitment to lifelong learning are the cornerstones of our profession. Think back on the lessons learned in B30 and in the clinic as you navigate the opportunities that lie ahead. Remember, dentistry is not just a profession, it's a calling to serve others and make a positive impact on the lives of your patients and your communities. Whether you choose to pursue private practice, academia, research, public health, never lose sight of the profound influence you have as a dental professional. As your alumni association, our mission is to provide a link between our members and our school and to support student activities and improve the quality of life for students. So while you're working late into the night, but not past 11 o'clock, in B30, your alumni association and the executive council were constantly behind the scenes thinking about you and making plans to support you, including extracurricular activities to make your experience here just a little bit more enjoyable. And in case you weren't sure how we financially supported you, here were a list of a couple of activities. The Mrs. Buffalo Boat Cruise, the Student Emergency Fund, the Student Luncheons, Red, White, and Blue, the fashion show, the Boca auction, Mr. Moeller, and the newly signed $1 million endowment, which will provide resources for students for years to come. In a sense, your Dental Alumni Association, from past generations, we're standing right by your side throughout this whole process. Your alumni membership, as I told you before, is complimentary for the rest of 2025 and even some of 2026. And when you finally start paying dues, they're nominal and provide networking information and the publication, the UB Dentist, which I know a lot of you don't look at now, but trust me, you will look forward to these issues in the years to come as they keep you up to date on school news, updates from the dean, and from your classmates. We offer a large selection of inexpensive continuing ed to all members, and it's headlined by the Buffalo Niagara Dental Meeting. And it has events just like the reunion dinner dance, where you were our honored guest back in November. You'll be invited back every 5 years to celebrate with us and your classmates. So in 2030, I want the class of 2025 back in Buffalo, and not just Anthony. By the way, in case I didn't tell you, you're going to be the one planning those alumni events. But also those of you who share Paige's attitude about never returning to Buffalo. Remember, we're not asking you to redo dental school. That's crazy. We're just asking you to come back, learn a little, hang out with your friends and colleagues, and maybe visit the city that you called home the past 4 years. I encourage you to stay connected with your alma mater and fellow alumni. The University at Buffalo Dental School has provided you with a solid foundation, but your journey as dental professionals is just beginning. And the Dental Alumni Association is here to support you every step of the way. So in closing, class of 2025, I offer my heartfelt congratulations once again. Go forth with confidence, compassion, and a commitment to excellence, knowing you carry with you a proud legacy of the University at Buffalo Dental School. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. DeLuca. If you are able, please stand for the University Alma Mater, recorded by Julia Pittarisi, who is graduating with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in music. The Alma Mater can be found on page 24 of your program. Just the first verse and refrain will be sung.
The pride of our spirit and tradition, our alma mater's truth and name declare. Celebrate our history and wisdom. Oh, let us all prepare to sing her glory. To Buffalo, all hail to thee. Noble and strong, it's our university. To blue and white, pledge loyalty. Singing, I will always remember thee.
Please be seated. Would Dr. Nicole Hinchy come to the podium to close the ceremony?
You sure you don't want to go for another few hours? Okay, so I hereby declare this 2025 commencement of the University at Buffalo School of Dental Medicine officially concluded.
Will the audience please remain in their seats while the graduates and the platform party leave the auditorium? Please join us in the atrium for a reception in honor of the graduates.